Morning, ladies as well as gentlemen. I was gonna play some Hearthstone Arena and then just post a nice video and call it a day. However, that last run hurt me so much in my soul that I had to try again to redeem myself. So, let's see if we can get something other than a steaming compost pile of failure going here and play Arena one more time. Now, I said at the end of the last one I was actually gonna play whichever class I had played least recently, and I thought it was the Druid. Nope! It was the Warrior. Baby, let's just keep that failure train running and see what we can do. Well, we start things off with a quality rare. These are all really great. I think the Knife Juggler is nice. It's a 2-drop. You can, in the worst case, kind of trade against your opponent's stuff. And then, of course, the ability is great if you can keep it around. But I'm going to go for the Kodo here. I'm going to trust my instincts as a really solid body. 3/5 is nice, even for 5 mana. And then destroying a minion, you'll almost always hit something pretty good with it. So let's just go ahead and pick that baby up. Well, there's really nothing... Well, this is playable, but there's nothing good here other than the Stormwind Champion, so we'll take the best card that is there. Fiery War Axe. I take every single one of those that I ever see, ever. The Azure Drake is interesting. I hate having so many 5-drops all in a row. If I had taken the Knife Juggler here, I would take the Azure Drake without hesitation. Mortal Strike, though, it's not great removal, but it is removal, and sometimes that's all you need. I'm going to trust my instincts. I know the Azure Drake is really good, but just to keep my curve options open a little bit and not start off with 3 or 4 picks being 5 mana or higher, let's grab the Mortal Strike here. Sometimes bad removal is better than no removal. Alright, the Frostwolf Grunt, I've talked before about how I have respect for this card that other players seem not to. It is sometimes nice, but the Cruel Taskmaster is a very important card. It can kill something when it comes into play. And also, being able to buff your own creatures is nice. I mean, basically, think of it as like a comparison to Dark Iron Dwarf. Dark Iron Dwarf gives a creature +2 attack. Now, if the creature that you're buffing with the attack is going to die in the trade, as it so often does, then it makes no difference if you deal 1 damage to it first. So you are getting a smaller body here, a 2/2 rather than a 4/4, but you are essentially getting the same effect for 2 less mana. In some cases. The creature needs to be above 1 health, it needs to have already been dying anyway, etc., etc. But the extra bonus is the Cruel Taskmaster, unlike the Dwarf, can deal damage to the opponent's creatures and pick them off, and if you have enraged creatures, you can trigger the enrage with your own guy. So it's a very important card to have if you are playing Warrior. And Commanding Shout, I have seen this used to good effect, but it's generally awful. So we're going to go ahead, and Alarmabot is... I've experimented with this. I have played with the Alarmabot so that you don't have to. This card is awful. We're going to go ahead and grab the Arcane Golem here, as it is an eminently playable card. Okay, well, interesting choice here. I could take another Stormwind Champion here, I suppose. That's pushing it a little bit this early in the draft to take that many expensive cards. Whirlwind is a nice card to have one of, but honestly I don't think it's as good as the Stormwind Knight. It's 4 mana, runs in, charges. It's only got 1 power less than what you'd expect for a 4 mana creature, but it'll often kill something off, and it's nice. Alright, I hate this monkey, and the charge is pretty bad too. We'll take a Flesh-Eating Ghoul. We've seen before how good that card can be. I'm just going to take the best card here. Although the Swarming is nice, I think the Scarlet Crusader is in general going to be the best card. Here we have Unplayable Garbage. We're going to have to take the Mana Wraith as a 2/2 for 2 that will sometimes be good and sometimes not. Wolf is kind of nifty, but I'm going to grab Heroic Strike. It is removal. With the Fiery War Axe, it's really funny because it's like 7 damage. You could like kill a Mogushan Warden with that. It's really good stuff. Alright, this guy's great, but the Kor'kon Elite, I think Charge is just so very nice. I mean, if you compare it to the Arcane Golem, right, it's an extra mana for an extra health, and you lose the awful Battle Cry. So it's like a really good comparison to a rare card. Alright, Upgrade is interesting. It allows you to get an extra use out of a weapon you already have. The Pint-Sized Summoner is, of course, interesting as well. If I coin it out on turn 1, I can play one of these 2 3-drops. If I play it normally on turn 2, I can play one of these 2 4-drops. I think the problem is a 1/3 weapon, it's okay. Like, I played with the Paladin's Light Justice, which is a 1/4 weapon, and it actually has been good under some cases. So it's worth considering this for sure, but the Pint-Sized Summoner is nice. I'm gonna grab her. It has a bigger upside. Fiery War Axe! Don't even need to look at what the other cards are. That's Fiery War Axe. Alright, we had no silence last turn, and we came up against a frickin' priest who played a Sunwalker and then buffed its health to 10. And now, normally putting all your eggs in one creature basket is a terrible idea, and it's not good play, because there's so many ways to deal with a big creature. Like you can, Polymorph, Assassinate, Hex, Shadow Word, Pain or Death, depending on the creature's power. You can bounce creatures. I mean, there's all kinds of stuff. I just happened to be playing a Paladin and happened to have no answers to random big dude number X. So the bad play kind of paid off against me there. But anyway, we're going to take a silence here to make sure we have an out against such things. Another Heroic Strike or another Stormwind Champion. I'm not a big fan of the Reckless Rocketeer. I mean, Charge is great, but you're just paying too much mana for this thing and it's going to die. You know, honestly, if you compare it to the Kor'kron Elite, look, it's the same total stats, and the Rocketeer costs 2 more mana. Now, the Kor'kron Elite is a class card, and the Reckless Rocketeer is neutral, and class cards, of course, should be better than neutral cards, but still, it's a bit weak, I think. One of the problems with Heroic Strike is it's not good in multiples or with weapons, because you're using your own hero to deal the damage. So you can't, like, you know, kill 2 things with 2 Heroic Strikes, because your hero only attacks once. That makes me want to take the Stormwind Champion. Let's take the Stormwind Champion here and hope for the best. Alright, Inner Rage is a good card for enraged creatures. I do like to have one of them, and sometimes you can also kill an enemy minion with it, especially if you have an Azure Drake, which I didn't take. But I'm going to grab Sen'jin, because it is very good, and I don't have any enraged creatures at the moment. Rampage, I find this to be way too nitpicky to work. The Cruel Taskmaster, you can combo it with Rampage. It's just too unreliable. So it's going to be Slam or Cleave. Slam gets card draw and allows you to spend 2 cards to kill a creature without going down in cards, but Cleave can sometimes kill 2 smaller creatures. We'll take the Cleave. I think it's the scarier card. Well, I could take a Cobra. This does deal with anything, but now let's take the Azure Drake, I think, for the card drawing, because it turns out, having gone most of the way through the draft, we still don't have that much expensive stuff in our deck. Alright. Here we're going to get the Frothing Berserker. This guy is insane. If your opponent doesn't deal with it pretty much right away, it just gets to be out of control silly. Oh god. Oh god, this is not good. Charge, I don't know, you're losing a card to have a creature attack right away. It's usually not worth it. Murloc Raider, I don't think you can really play this. It's just so bad. But Battle Rage is seriously nerfed. Draw a card for each damage-friendly character. Most of the time I see warriors drawing 1 card with this. Or sometimes 2 if they're lucky. Well, let's hope I get lucky and can draw 2, I guess. Shattered Sun Cleric. That is nice to have. We will take that. And the Bloodsail Raider is worth considering. I do have these 2 Fiery War Axes, but I'm actually going to take the Argent Squire. It's really nice sometimes just to have a thing to play on turn 1, because it can really mess your opponent up. Alright, we're going to take the Warsong Commander here. That, if it's not dealt with, goes completely out of control. And here we need to consider carefully. So these are both quasi-removal cards. The Execute gives you like an out if you're desperate. So it actually does kind of synergize nicely. I got Divine Shield, so I can pop a Divine Shield, kill something, pop a Divine Shield, kill something, whack with the axe, kill something, cleave, damage something, then kill it. Yeah, this seems good. I'll take it over the other kind of quasi-removal creatures. Ugh, this is not good. Rampage is just so unreliable. I really can't stand it. But this is a 4/4 for 4 with spell power. What does that do? Buffs my cleave? Yeah, I don't think I can do that. I think we're going to take the Panther here, although I'm not normally a fan of that card. I could take another Flesh-Eating Ghoul. I could take a Taunt. I'm very low on Taunt here. I only have the 1 Sen'jin, and Taunt is nice. Or the Frostwolf Warlord, because I'm lacking in late game, and I need big cards. Yeah, I'll take the Frostwolf. I need some big stuff. The Loot Hoarder is nice for card draw. I don't have any here other than Battle Rage. But I'm going to grab the Panda. It's a bigger body, and I could use some beefier stuff. Well, let's go for late game here with the Ogre. The Silvermoon Guardian's definitely nice, but we'll take the Ogre here just so we can have that really nice late game and have good stuff. And here the only playable thing is the Faceless Manipulator, so we get it. Alright, well our curve's a little bit high, but luckily we do have 2 Fiery War Axes in this deck to hopefully get some advantage and hold off our opponents in the early game. This draft suffered from a bit too many mediocre picks. So that could just have a problem with quality. I have a lot of, 2 drops, 3 drops, and 4 drops, so lots of early game, and also good late game cards, which is kind of the dream. But there were too many mediocre picks, I think, for me to say that I think this deck is amazing. Alright, Buha the Shaman. Let's go ahead and mulligan that Stormwind Champion back. Here we are probably going to coin out the Pine-Sized Summoner, and then I have actually a Shattered Sun Cleric or a Flesh-Eating Golem I could play on turn 2 with the Pine-Sized Summoner's ability. It all depends on my opponent's first turn, of course. If he plays like a 1-drop, I'm not going to coin this thing out just to have it die. And he might, of course, have a Lightning Bolt or a Rock Biter weapon. Shamans have a lot of ways to kill a 2-drop. Alright, looks like nothing coming from my opponent on turn 1, so let's play the Pine-Sized Summoner and hope. So we're hoping for no Lightning Bolts, no Rock Biter weapons, and no Charging Merfolks. And no Stormforged Axes. Wow, there's a lot that a Shaman could have here. He's got the Charging Merfolk. Well, all things considered, that's not the most... actually, I would have preferred a Lightning Bolt, I suppose, because that would have meant he was overloaded next turn. Well, this is awkward. Luckily, the Frothing Berserker, while it's nice to put him down on the board when you already have stuff, so that things can trade and they can start to gain attack power, because it's one of the very, 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 very rare 3-drops with 4 mana, it's quite playable by himself. Now we're going to do this. Pass the turn. Again, I'm hoping my opponent has no removal. What my opponent might do is run the Tauren Warrior in and get him all in, to get this guy enraged. Then the Cruel Taskmaster will be gold money, cash dollars, and finish this thing off. Flametongue. God damn it! Oh man, I had a really good start. I had the Pine-Sized Summoner. I had everything a man could want, but my opponent just had to be a douche face. So here, I would like to play one of my really good 3-drops, or even my 4-drop, but I can't because I need to play this to kill the 7-1. Now, granted, I guess it's good that I am killing that 7-1 rather than not, but notice the problem here. This Taunt Totem gets to kill my 2-2, and this totem is free. That Flametongue Totem is being insanely good. Oh my god, man, if my opponent has good plays on this turn, I'm just going to fall behind. Wow, I had like really the best start you could hope for. Pine-Sized Summoner, Frothing Berserker, this guy, and my opponent had a better one. That Charging Merfolk, gotta give him credit for drafting it. A lot of people do not take that card. The Charging Merfolk was really good. The Acolyte of Pain is just being silly here. I would have, if I were in my opponent's shoes, I would have actually swung first and then flipped the totem, because Taunt Totem plus Flametongue Totem is so outrageous. We're clearly going to deal with this frickin' nonsense and play the Scarlet Crusader. So the Scarlet Crusader holds up against both of these creatures. I could have also considered playing a Flesh-Eating Ghoul. It would have been a 3-3 after I killed the totem, and that would have also held up against both of the creatures. But I guess that would have made a lot of sense, actually. I don't know. Tough call. I guess I feel safer playing the Scarlet Crusader because of the Divine Shield. Farsight. Wow. Alright, my opponent's going to do that thing. So you could actually play up to a 6-mana card here. Ironfur Grizzly is going to be free. Well, he didn't really gain anything because he used the Farsight. So the 3 mana that he spent on the Farsight is the 3 mana that the Ironfur Grizzly cost. I don't know. It didn't really seem like that was really worth it to me. Alright, my opponent's going to trade everything away. And that's nice. Let's think. Play Stampede Kodo to kill the totem. What we're going to do is we're going to play the Flesh-Eating Ghoul. Kill this bear. God, that Fiery War Axe is so insane. It is keeping me in this game single-handedly. Because it killed the, yeah, it actually killed that bear, and it also killed the Flametongue Totem, which I wouldn't have been able to deal with otherwise. Yeah, that Fiery War Axe is just so good. If you don't get one as a warrior, it's so hard. Alright, this is actually alright, because what I can do is I can kill off the 2 totems that he's going to get, make the Flesh-Eating Ghoul get really huge, and then I can use the Kodo to finish off the Squire. Or I could actually Mortal Strike this guy. I could use my Ghoul to trade, kill the Taunt, Kodo. 50-50 chance of healing Totem or Squire. And armor up? Let me think about that. Because basically, if I don't kill this guy, the Silverhand Knight is going to kill my Flesh-Eating Ghoul, unless I try to play the Sen'jin Shieldmaster Gambit and see if I can protect him. Interesting choices. Try to get this really out of control, silly. No, let's just go ahead and keep it simple. We're going to kill that. We're going to kill that. And we're going to use the Mortal Strike. Just kill that. So basically, my opponent's going to need a Dark Iron Dwarf or some other kind of help to kill my Flesh-Eating Ghoul, which again, as we've talked about before, is a very, very, very good common. This used to be a rare card. It is now a common card. And it really feels like a rare to me. The reason it became a common is because Questing Adventurer, which also feels like a rare to me, used to be a common, so they traded places. The Questing Adventurer went from being a common to being a rare, and the Flesh-Eating Ghoul went from being a rare to being a common. But I kind of wish that they had found some other card to make a common instead, because this thing is so crazy. Alright, well my opponent is just going for the throat here, giving me an extra mana off that Arcane Golem. He's actually going to do the trade. Alright, well, he's going to draw a card off that Manatide. I think it makes a lot of sense here to play the Kodo and hope I actually hit the Manatide Totem. I hit the Flametongue. Oh, of course. At least that's going to die next turn, hopefully. So he's going to draw 2 cards off of it, which isn't the end of the world because he spent the card himself and then he drew 2, so it's kind of like a Arcane Intellect that, you know, could get ridiculous if the thing doesn't die. But I'm probably going to be able to kill it now, and I've got really good late game coming up, so I should be okay, even though my opponent actually technically has more cards. Oh my god, that actually stops me from killing the thing. And that also stops me from killing his thing. So he's got the Sen'jins protecting this Mana Tide. Oh my god, is this game really going to go out of control? Oh my lord. Okay. Well, Cleave actually could really help a lot here. Yes, it can. I'm going to play Azure Drake because you always have to draw cards first. So there's a decent chance that Cleave will actually hit the Mana Tide Totem. There's only a 1 in 3 chance that we'll miss. Alright, I got it. Whew. Okay. Well, let's go ahead and just kill that off. And let's deal the damage to this while we can. No point in playing the Arcane Golem. I don't want to actually trade it in for that Sen'jin, so we'll just armor up, keep a surprise in my back pocket, pass a turn. So I held in there thanks to the Azure Drake and the Cleave. That was good. My opponent has 5 cards and a Sen'jin. I have 5 cards total, about to draw my 6th, so if he doesn't have a really good play right here, he will be in trouble. Capital T-R-U-B-B-L-E, trouble. Showwind Yeti, very good card. I didn't see any of those in the draft, and that makes me sad. Got a Taunter and a Raptor. The Raptor is not super impressive. The Arcane Golem doesn't quite kill this Yeti, unfortunately. My opponent is just going balls to the walls Dickens here. He's trying to basically overwhelm me with creatures. Is it going to work? Well, the thing is that a lot of my creatures are getting pretty good value here. I can, like, kill his stuff and still be surviving. Let's go ahead and just play the Ogre. That seems fine. Do I want to play this? Deal 4 damage? I could play this and execute 2 for 1 myself against the Yeti, but it keeps my other stuff alive. No, I think I'd rather wait for him to kill something with the Yeti himself. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to play this, though. I am going to kill this other creature. So my opponent's trying to overrun me with crappy creatures, and I am basically trying to keep the board clear here while I bide my time and draw more cards. Execute is a nice insurance policy here in case he does play something uncontrollable. I can use it to 2 for 1. He's just making a bunch more chump and totem, which I'm fine with. Bloodlust. Alright, that is a bit of a desperado Bloodlust, so I'm happy to see that. He's going to kill off my Ogre, it looks like. Alright, fair is fair. Let's go ahead and take this out. This will kill my Drake at the moment, so let's go ahead and protect it. We're going to do that. Do I want to drop all my guys down to 1 health? This is pretty vulnerable to a Lightning Storm. But if he has Lightning Storm, he's going to do it anyway. So yeah, we're going to do it. We're going to protect my creatures, keep them all at 1 health, and call it a day. So hopefully no Lightning Storms are incoming. He has drawn 3 more cards than I have. But as long as there's no Lightning Storm, which is one particular rare, I should be alright. Stormwind Champion. Well, that is actually pretty good for my opponent. It means I have to use my Kor'kron to kill that thing off. Doo-doo-doop. We'll do this, this, and I'm not going to go ahead and attack that Stormwind Champion. What I'll do is I'll deal the damage, and then after the Stormwind Champion kills off, let's say, my Azure Drake, I can go ahead and use Execute to finish it off. Well, we're in a good old-fashioned top-deck war here. My opponent has the better hero ability because this actually puts stuff onto the board, but I have the better board presence at the moment. So I'd say that I have a slight advantage here, unless this is a very good card. My opponent should really kill the Drake, because it hits harder. I don't know why he wouldn't. And it also has an ability that's relevant. It's going to pop Divine Shield. Does he have a Lightning Storm back here? No, he does not. Interesting. I guess he wanted to get the most mileage out of his Healing Totem. That's fair. Well, we'll just do this then. I'm going to keep the Warzone Commander. I would like for it to be a surprise. I would also like it not to die to a Lightning Storm if my opponent has one of those. And basically what's nice is if I draw another creature, I can play it and the other creature charges, and then my opponent can't do anything about it. It's nice to be able to do things on your turn without your opponent being able to deal with things. Alright, my opponent, actually a Forked Lightning would kill both my cards. He appears not to have that. Spell Power is actually not the scariest thing. My guy's all at 1 health anyway, so like, why do I even care? Ah, this is nice. So, yeah, we're going to do this. We're going to do, well, let's think. I could either get the Kodo back and kill the Owl for free, or I can get the Azure Drake back and get a card. Well, let's attack with both. And think I can do this. I can't do all 3. I think in a top deck war, getting an extra card... Well, let me think, hang on. It seems like getting a card should be better, but, I mean, this is going to cost me a card because it's going to kill one of my creatures, so I'm going to get the Kodo back. The Kodo also has more health, which is nice. Replay it, kill that owl. Last turn. So this could have been a Knife Juggler, which, I mean, the whole game would have been different if this were a Knife Juggler, but I think it was good. This killed a Flame Tongue Totem earlier on. It had a 50-50 chance of killing a Manatide. I think this is way better than the Knife Juggler, at least in this particular game. Right, I would say this has been pretty solid. I'm up to 39 health. My opponent's going to need some really good stuff here. Lava Burst is good, but not great in this situation. Frostwolf Warlord now, I think, is the time to drop that, and the Warlord. Do I win? I think I just win. Oh, no, I don't quite win, because this herself does not have charge. Okay, well, anyway, my opponent needs some kind of a miracle here. I don't even know what a Shaman could have that would save from a 7-7 and a 3-5 when you're only at 1 health. Taunt Totem, and then, like, a Hex. Alright, my opponent's just going to let me kill him. Now, a douche move, which I have seen people make, is to play the Stormwind Champion here, just like, ha-ha! But no, I'm not going to be a douchebag. Let's just kill him and say, well played. Was that the first game, or was that the second game? I don't even know. That was such a long game. I feel like that was the second game? No, that was the first game. Okay. So we're going to do 2 games here in this video. And then if you like how the arena run is going, you can check back soon. I will have the rest of the games posted in an upcoming video. But that was a pretty good start. I would say I more or less smashed that opponent. In my last run as Paladin, which I won't spoil entirely, I will say that in all of my losses, I felt like I got thrashed, and in all of my wins, I felt like it was a hard-fought battle. So I was happy to make it as far as I did, but man, that deck did not turn out good. We have a Fiery War Axe. Another thing that happened to me, actually, when I was playing as Paladin, is I got... this is dangerous to play on turn 3 because it's so likely to die, but... Actually, this thing charges. Why do I even need this thing? Yeah, I'll save this for later. It's nice to have it as a surprise. Okay, in my game as Paladin, I got my True Silver Champion oozed twice. So hopefully that doesn't happen with these Fiery War Axes. That would be nice to be able to keep those. Alright, no reason to coin this out. We'll just take it easy. Basically, I mean, next turn I'm not doing anything other than armoring up if I coin this out. So it should be just a total waste of the coin. Playing a creature sometimes is worth it early because you already have it on the board and it can attack right away, but the Fiery War Axe, I mean, this thing attacks the turn it comes into play regardless. Ah, Pine-Sized Summoner, cute, but we're going to go ahead and kill. The fact that the Mad Bomber went entirely on me actually is a really bad thing because the Rogue is also going to be daggering creatures, so I want her life total to die, to go low, and it isn't, so that kind of sucks. What I'm actually going to do is take a little bit of a ballsy move. I'm actually going to play the coin and play the Sen'jin. So what I'm doing here is I'm trying to kill the Loot Hoarder with the Sen'jin so I don't use the axe on it. For 2 reasons. Mainly, one, I don't want, like, the Loot Hoarder draws a card, so wasting an axe on it is kind of a waste. And for 2, there might be more threatening creatures coming on. There's a lot of scary stuff in this game that has only 3 power. Or, excuse me, 3 toughness. So, if I'm only going to get one more whack with this axe, I might as well make it count. Well, it's a good play by my opponent, so he's basically stopping me from killing that Loot Hoarder. Arcane Golem. No. So I could swing here, use the axe to finish off the Sen'jin, then this would be at 2 health, no data Loot Hoarder, draw a card. Or I could do this play, which I am going to do. And we're going to play this guy, which I kept from my opening hand and kill the Loot Hoarder that way. Rogues, actually not the greatest at dealing with this board. Fan of Knives deals only 1 damage, and Backstab can't hit injured targets. Eviscerate you want to save for other stuff. Betrayal would actually kill my... Betrayal could kill either one for 2 mana. That would probably be the best card, I suppose. But I'd say that I won the opening. My opponent's got 6 cards to my 7, even after the Loot Hoarder. And that was because I had a weapon to kill 1 creature, and then this guy killed the Loot Hoarder and lived to tell about it. And I've got some good stuff here coming up. I might even play the Pine-Sized Summoner, maybe, to get the Stormwind Champion out of turn early. Ah, my opponent does a little tit-for-tat here. Now, the good news is my guy hangs on. The bad news is Shiv will finish it off. But we'll do it. We're going to make a Pine-Sized Summoner. Man, should I have made a Ghoul there? I don't know. I keep never wanting to make Ghouls for some reason. Oh, you know what? I screwed up. That was a mistake. The reason I don't want to play the Panther is that no matter where I put the Panther, Betrayal will kill 2 of my creatures. So I'm gonna make a Ghoul. It should have been a 3/3. I always forget to play the Ghouls first. I'm always so excited to kill my stuff. The thing is, I really thought I was gonna play the Panther, and then I realized, oh no, what am I talking about? Oh jeez. The Panther has stealth. If I put it in the middle, Betrayal could kill the Panther, but not either of the other two. But not either of the other 2 guys. Whoops, that was a mistake. I should have stuck to my original plan and played the Panther in the middle because it's stealth, so Betrayal cannot target it. My opponent could have targeted one of my other creatures and killed it, killed the Panther with Betrayal, but the others would have lived. Anyway, that's that. So my opponent's got the South Sea deckhand here, which he's going to presumably use to kill my pint-sized summoner. He may... Oh no, he's killing the Ghoul. What the... Interesting. He's... Oh wow, that is some epic disrespect for the pint-sized summoner. So my opponent could have used the South Sea deckhand to kill the summoner and use the dagger to kill off my 2/1 charging guy. Instead he chose to kill off my flesh-eating Ghoul. Now granted, I guess maybe he thought the Ghoul was scary, but I don't know. I think you gotta kill pint-sized summoners. Maybe I'm just biased because I have a Stormwind Champion in my hand. But anyway, we're gonna play that. Pint-sized summoner's done her job. Let's just trade away. Not leave my opponent with any creatures on the board. I don't want this getting, Dark Iron Dwarfed and Shattered Sun Cleric and killing my Stormwind Champion. If you want to kill this, you gotta have your Assassinate. Spend your turn killing it. That's the only way. The Beast! Oh, jeez. Oh, Lord. Well, the good news about this is it does give me a 3/3 when it dies. The bad news is I can't quite kill it just yet. I don't want to silence it. That would be silly. Oh, I almost missed this play. We're going to play the Stormwind Champion to buff my Stormwind Champion, and we are going to go ahead and kill this thing. I don't want to race against a rogue who has a life advantage against me. Alright, we got a 4/4 for that, so that's fine. So we got 6 cards to my opponent's 5. I have a life loss, but my opponent is quite behind here on the board and in cards. So I've got armor as well, so I can keep armoring up, and that'll be good. Alright, well, my opponent is... Jesus, my opponent is like Chumposaurus Rex over here. Alright, let's think. I could kill this, of course, with the Stormwind Champion. I could kill this with that guy, and I got this guy left over. I could actually kill it with the Arcane Golem and try to preserve my Stormwind Champion. Is that really worth it? I could just ignore all this stuff and you know what? No, I don't want this Spiteful Smith attacking into my guy and then becoming enraged and making the hero ability a Fiery War Axe. Because when this thing is enraged, the Rogue's Dagger is a Fiery War Axe, which she gets for the same mana cost, but for free. So I definitely don't want that happening. This really has to die. The only question is, do I use Execute? No, I'm not going to use Execute. We'll just do this. And we're actually going to get a little bit aggressive here, I think. What I'm going to do is I'm going to play this. And let's make sure we're playing around Betrayal as much as we can. We'll do, I guess, this. Oh, Betrayal really sucks. You know what? Betrayal sucks so much I'm actually just going to kill my opponent's creature here. Oh, this doesn't actually die. Well, anyway, we'll kill that. So I'm like epically vulnerable to Fan of Knives. But anyway, we're going to play Betrayal to stop my Stormwind Champion from being killed. Like this. So now my opponent could play a Fan of Knives, which would be really good. It would get the Stormwind down to 1 and kill off my other creatures and draw her a card. But the Panther lives, and I've got more cards back here, so it'd be alright. Plus, all of these things have killed stuff, so it's not like I'm going down in cards. Rifleman, well, it's not as bad as a Fan of Knives, and it shows she does not have a Fan of Knives, or else she would have rifled the Stormwind Champion. My opponent continues to play Chumper Nuggets, so it looks like this opponent just, I think this opponent might have misdrafted a little bit, because she appears to have way too much chumpy stuff. That is the impression I get. Mortal Strike, well, that's fine. Let's just go ahead and, this is bad removal, but sometimes it's better than no removal. We will, I think I'll just ignore her stuff at this point. Play Scarlet Crusader and armor up. If I had put her in the middle, Betrayal would kill both of these cards. Now at least, Betrayal kills a Storm and then merely pops the Divine Shield. Now there are cards a rogue could have that would let her catch back up. But at the moment, she can kill the Panther and she can kill the Stormwind Champion. But this is alive and it's got a Divine Shield, so my opponent would need to top deck some very good cards to get out of this. Scarlet Crusader plus Execute is a really good combo. Whatever she plays, I can pop Divine Shield and Execute, or I could just be a Raid Leader, which is not the greatest card at the moment. Would the Raid Leader have mattered if she played it first? I don't think so. I think she had enough damage to kill everything anyway. Okay, well, let's just go ahead and kill this off. I don't see any particular reason to Wait. And rogues... I mean, she can have a Blade Flurry, but she'd need Blade Flurry and Deadly Poison, or Blade Flurry and Assassin's Blade. So let's actually go ahead and do this. Yeah, this is the weakest to go in the middle. And we're going to swing. So I believe I'm threatening to win 4-7-9, yep. And a rogue would need to have a really good card here. I don't even know what she could have. I guess a big taunt, like a Sunwalker or something, would let her live for a turn. But she played a lot of chumpy 2-drops, so I'm getting the feeling that this rogue was like, ooh, I'm going to be a rogue, I'm going to be aggressive. And then she drafted a lot of 2-drops, but that's not really what you want to do when you want to play aggressively. And we win! Alright, that was a pretty good win. I would say that my opponent could have won, potentially. It was a little bit of back and forth going on, and we did go to turn 10. So I'd say, to really call something a crushing victory, you need to win, like, before turn 10, like turn 6 or 7. But anyway, that was a really good win. We're up to a pretty strong start in this arena as Warrior, my least favorite class. So if you enjoyed it, do please like and or subscribe. And if you want to see how it all ends, well, stay tuned. The rest of the arena is going to be coming up shortly. I'll see you then.